Harem anime. Storytelling that is centered around a singular main character with a group of females who is essentially after the main protagonist. These types of shows are created mostly for the purpose of wish fulfillment. It's thought to be for 14-year-old boys who can self-insert themselves into a main character that is surrounded by girls. But the thing to note is, even if there's a main girl in mind, the main character won't outright choose one girl because every girl is created equally. Not really. But the point is that these girls get strung along. Tenchi Muyo for me is the original harem. Actually, Tenchi Muyo is the first anime that I've ever watched, stemming back to when I was 5-6 years old, but that's a story for another time. Tenchi Misaki is the king of stringing along women. The thing about Tenchi Muyo is that each incarnation of the show is different, mixing around character stories and lore for its respective narrative at the time being. Depending on which story you're watching, characters fall in and out of love with Tenchi. What's important about all of this is that there are two characters that stay consistent with loving Tenchi, at least for all the iterations that I've seen. That's Ryoko and Ayeka. I've just finished watching Tenchi In Tokyo and I liked it. I liked it a lot actually. It's a fun story, zany character designs, atmospheric settings, especially in these night shots. But most of all, Sakuya. I love Sakuya, especially when I seen her with a camera in her hand near the latter half of the show. When I looked around the internet to get a general idea of how people felt about the show, I seen that Sakuya got a lot of hate. She was regarded as a Mary Sue, a character that is flawless, but I don't find that to be the case at all. With the rivalry between Ayeka and Ryoko as the ideal girl, I guess I would have to choose Ryoko for being the lesser of two evils, which is ironic because Ryoko is a space pirate. But I can't stand Ayeka. In Tenchi In Tokyo, albeit this rivalry still existed, it was thrown into the back burner because Sakuya is the definitive girl for Tenchi to set his heart on. Sakuya shook up the core aspect of the Tenchi Muyo franchise, even if it was just for the story. The love triangle between Tenchi, Ayeka, and Ryoko was not a core element of the show at all. Sakuya challenged the status quo, and when Tenchi officially started dating Sakuya, the harem had fallen apart. Ryoko went back to space pirating, Mihoshi and Kiyone went back to space patrol, while Shu locked herself away. Sasami continued to maintain the house, and Ayeka was left in isolation trying desperately to maintain that status quo. While the core narrative of the antagonist Yugi doesn't fully make sense to me, I am able to forgive Tenchi In Tokyo because of Sakuya. Sakuya's character is fully focused on getting Tenchi to fall in love with him, and while that may appear as one-dimensional, it works in this context because she was literally made to fall in love with Tenchi, within the context of the show itself. Ayeka is similar in this aspect as well, but the reason that it doesn't work for Ayeka is because we know that she was someone else before she met Tenchi. She's a princess of a whole different planet. Ayeka is needy and desperate for Tenchi in the worst kind of way. We often see her get ugly really fast because Ryoko or someone else is in her way of Tenchi. She quickly gets loud and obnoxious because of that reason, and that's it. That's all there really is to Ayeka. Ayeka really loves Tenchi, but so does everyone else, and that's not all there is to them. Ryoko is a drunk and a pirate, while Shu is a mad scientist and she normally focuses on her experiments. Sasami is busy doing her own thing with Ryo-Oki and maintaining the house. Kiyone is often thinking about how to get back into space to do her real job. Mihoshi is an airhead who enjoys watching cop shows. But Ayeka is solely focused on Tenchi 24/7. She's constantly thinking about how she needs to get back to Tenchi, how she needs to get through the hole to get to Tenchi. What is Tenchi doing? Oh my god, I miss you, Tenchi. Tenchi, we're gonna do this. Tenchi, we're gonna do that. Oh my god, Tenchi. Excuse me. This might be because the planet Jirai itself isn't a main aspect of this narrative, so all there really is left for her to do is focus on Tenchi. While Sakuya is similar in this way, she was created to fall in love with Tenchi so that the girls would be separated from Tenchi. She was created with a purpose in mind. She was a shadow of Yugi as a means to an end. While some try to say that Sakuya was flawless, I beg to differ. Sakuya was actually pretty level-headed. She had a human response when she found Tenchi with Ryoko. All day she had been waiting for Tenchi to show up at the park so that they can hang out. When she finally gives up and decides to head home, she finds Tenchi with somebody else. She sees the picture that Tenchi and Ryoko took together. She shares with Tenchi that she had started to question herself, if she had done something wrong, if she had a bad figure. she comes to the realization that Tenchi isn't the guy that's waiting for her, because Tenchi has a lot of people waiting for him. This type of response is normal, and we even see the way it affects her once they're together. Any other harem would simply make Sakuya's character say, "Oh well, I guess I'll just have to try harder." But she didn't. She kept her distance, like any sane human would, and Tenchi was forced to man up and tell her how he feels, regardless if it was a shitty sentiment.
I wanted to tell you that I really don't know for sure yet if I'm in love with you. So I still can't give you any definite answer because I don't want to lead you on and get your hopes up. But I will promise you this. I'll find the answer if you can just give me a little more time.
Even after Tenchi finally explains how he feels, Sakuya keeps her insecurities. She was jealous of the other girl's attention. We see this a few times. Once when Tenchi and Sakuya were about to make up, Tenchi leaves the room and she finds the same photo of Tenchi and Ryoko on his bed. She quickly gets up and storms out of the apartment. We see it again when Ayeka and the girls show up at the school festival. While Tenchi is yelling at the girls to go away, she looks at Tenchi with worried eyes. She sensed that the weight of the girls have on Tenchi, and she felt jealous. She was able to understand that the reason Tenchi was so angry was because the girls have an emotional effect on him and it worries her. At the time of that scene, she still wasn't sure where she stood with Tenchi.
Tenchi wouldn't stand me up, at least I don't think he would. Maybe he just doesn't care about me, maybe I've been all wrong. Guess I'll just leave.
Furthermore, when Tenchi finds out that Okoyama was attacked and he wanted to go home, she begged him not to leave. Even though Tenchi told her that he was going because of his family, she still begged him to stay because she was scared that he wouldn't come back. She constantly reminded him that he promised that they would spend the summer together. Sakuya is a girl who is threatened by the other women in Tenchi's life, and rightfully so. Because most of those girls lust after him 24/7, of course she wouldn't want him to leave. It's a selfish thing for her to do, but it's also a human reaction for her to have. I'm also aware that she's supposed to keep Tenchi in Tokyo so that the family wouldn't reunite, but that's Yugi's reason. But Sakuya had her own reason. I also want to quickly add, I think that the reason Sakuya picked up photography during the time that they were together was a subconscious response to seeing Tenchi and Ryoko take photos together. On more than one occasion, she had to see Tenchi in photographs with someone else, and it would make sense for her to want to have photos with him as well. Kinda as a way for her to confirm that she is someone important in his life. That's also why she took it a step further than Ryoko's photo by purchasing a frame for the photograph of the two of them together. The simple fact that Sakuya exists works wonders for me. She played a pinnacle role in this iteration of the series. She was able to do something that none of the other characters were able to do, and that was to win Tenchi's affection. Sakuya even got Tenchi to say,
And well, I'm in love with you too, Sakuya.
As I mentioned, Sakuya challenges the status quo, but once she disappears from the series, we quickly see that status quo return. Seriously, once Sakuya leaves, Ryoko, Ayeka, and all of the other harem girls show up instantly to continue as if Sakuya never existed. While I was sad to see her character go, it made me laugh how quickly these girls returned to Tenchi's side. Tenchi, you really do suck. Tenchi in Tokyo is by no means a perfect story, but it's one that attempted something different with the Tenchi Muyo series, and you gotta respect him for trying something different. Also, I'll never get over how they threw Ayeka to the back because I found her insufferable. Let me know what you guys think of Tenchi in Tokyo and Sakuya. Did you guys enjoy this story? Did you guys love or hate Sakuya? I loved her, and I hated that she wasn't in the finale. Let's have a discussion in the comments. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.